What is the number one killer of dreams? What do you think is the number one reason the majority fail to live a life they love? What is the number one reason why people fail to succeed at any level? It's not luck. It's not lack of money or opportunity. It's certainly not circumstance. It's fear.
What is your giant? Name it. Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it insecurity? Is it doubt?
You're never going to have a fear-free existence. I mean, some fear is acceptable and legitimate. There are some things that you really should be afraid of. Now, you shouldn't allow it to immobilize you. You acknowledge it, you take it into account, and you carry yourself accordingly. There are times that we should proceed with caution, but it's the difference between being stopped by fear. It's the difference between having a fear and the fear having you.
Decision's yours and the outcome is yours. It is that simple. It has nothing to do with the outside world. There's no excuses when it comes to happiness.
It's time to pull that energy from fear, doubt, anxiety, out of competition and comparison.
You acknowledge your fears, you embrace those fears, and then you move on. You act on whatever it is that you fear. Because once you embrace it, see, what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. So one of the most important things is to begin to embrace your fear.
If you look upon every step forward as a learning experience and every setback as a valuable lesson that has been sent to you to make you stronger and better, you will not be afraid to launch in faith into the unknown.
Fear can cause us to play it safe, but playing it safe will never be fulfilling. Start with small risks. Sometimes it's as small as asking a coworker for help with a project or trying a new class at your gym. The smaller risks build confidence and make room for larger ones. Once you're ready to challenge yourself and face something large, the more confidence you will build and the less fear will exist.
And when that thing tells you to quit, you look at it in his eye and say, I ain't going nowhere. I will break you before you break me. You will not defeat me. You will not destroy me. Lay hold of it.
I get it. I've been there. I still have it. Guys, it's normal. It's part of the process. How are you going to look that in the eye and defeat it? That's what makes somebody successful. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's not about going down the smoothest highway. It's about taking the things that pop up and punch you in the eye and hitting them back twice as hard so that you can keep moving forward.
Every one of us has two voices inside our head. One voice is you, the real you. The you that knows exactly what you want to do, what you want to have, who you want to be with, and where you want to go. The other voice I call fear. And this voice is the voice that is always telling you what you can't do, why you can't have that thing, why you can't be with that person, why you can't get where you want to go.
Don't let your journey start fueled by hatred. Let it be fueled by the drive to succeed. You have it. You have the potential to move forward and make it past your fears, to make it past your self-doubt. You are higher, bigger than how you perceive yourself. Design your life the way you want it to run. Make your life better for you to live a happier life.
Now, the only person you should strive to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Who were you yesterday? What did you change? What did you want to do? What are you going to do? So, what are you going to change? How are you going to improve? So you need to move past your old attitude. You need to change your ways. You got to change your mindset and be better than you were yesterday, because you're no longer you yesterday. You are you today, and you will be you tomorrow.
You got to overcome fear. The moment that you overcome fear, then your opponent is bankrupt. There's nothing they can do. You're going to have to dispense with fear and with negative self-talk. Remember your why. It is the why that gets us to win. And it is the why that gives us the power to persevere through the how.
You've got to ask yourself, how long am I going to allow this to hold me back? That fear is false evidence appearing real. That is an illusion that we create in our mind. It is a state of mind that can be changed.
As long as you got air in your lungs, you have an opportunity to improve your current situation. So human up, accept the challenge, change your associations, and soon you will find yourself receiving accolades and congratulations. But first you gotta say I do to the new you and commit to a lifetime of small wins that at times will seem meaningless and pointless.
Are you in a position to quit? Or are you in a position to go harder? Are you in a position to go stronger? Are you willing to dig and go as far as you can in your life? Are you willing to suffer?
So don't wait. Don't worry about what if. Don't think of it as magic. Don't think of it as lottery. Make a list. Execute the list. Do that every single day for the next 10 years, and you will be where you want to be. I guarantee it.
You need large amounts of self-discipline to deal courageously with all the fear-inducing events of your life. This is probably why Churchill said, "Courage is rightly considered the foremost of the virtues, for upon it all others depend." The fact is that everyone is afraid, and usually of many things. This is normal and natural. Often fear is necessary to preserve life, prevent injury, and guard against financial mistakes. So if everyone is afraid, what is the difference between the brave person and the coward? The only difference is that the brave person disciplines himself to confront, deal with, and act in spite of the fear. In contrast, the coward allows himself to be dominated and controlled by the fear. Someone once said that, with regard to warfare, although it applies to any situation, the difference between the hero and the coward is that the hero sticks in there 5 minutes longer. Fortunately, all fears are learned. No one is born with fears. Fears can therefore be unlearned by practicing self-discipline repeatedly with regard to fear until it goes away. The most common fears that we experience, which often sabotage all hope for success, are the fears of failure, poverty, and loss of money. These fears cause people to avoid risk of any kind and to reject opportunity when it is presented to them. They are so afraid of failure that they are almost paralyzed when it comes to taking any chances at all. There are many other fears that interfere with our happiness. People fear the loss of love or the loss of their jobs and their financial security. People fear embarrassment or ridicule. People fear rejection and criticism of any kind. People fear the loss of respect or esteem of others. These and many other fears hold us back throughout life. The most common reaction in a fear situation is the attitude of, "I can't." This is the fear of failure and loss that stops us from taking action. It is experienced physically, starting in the solar plexus. When people are really afraid, their mouth and throat go dry, their heart starts pounding. Sometimes they breathe shallowly and their stomach churns. Often they feel like getting up and running to the bathroom. These are all physical manifestations of the inhibitive, negative habit pattern, which we all experience from time to time. Whenever a person is in the grip of fear, he feels like a deer caught in the headlights of a car. This fear paralyzes action. It often shuts down the brain and causes the individual to revert to the fight or flight reaction. Fear is a terrible emotion that undermines our happiness and can hold us back throughout our lives. Aristotle described courage as the golden mean between the extremes of cowardice and impetuousness. He taught that to develop a quality that you lack, act as if you already had that quality in every situation where it is called for. In modern terms, however, we say, fake it until you make it. You can actually change your behavior by affirming visualizing, and acting as if you already have the quality you desire. By affirming, by repeating the words, I can do it, emphatically whenever you feel afraid for any reason, you can cancel the feeling of I can't. Every time you repeat the words, I can do it, with conviction, you override your fear and increase your confidence. By repeating this affirmation over and over again, you can eventually build your courage and confidence to the point where you are unafraid. By visualizing yourself performing with confidence and competence in an area where you're fearful, your visual image will eventually be accepted by your subconscious mind as instructions for your performance. Your self-image, the way you see yourself and think about yourself, is eventually altered by feeding your mind these positive mental pictures of yourself performing at your best. By using the act as if method, you walk, talk, and carry yourself exactly as you would if you were completely unafraid in a particular situation. You stand up straight, smile, move quickly and confidently, and in every respect act as if you already had the courage that you desire. The law of reversibility says that if you feel a certain way, you will act in a manner consistent with that feeling. But if you act in a manner consistent with that feeling, even if you don't feel it, the law of reversibility will create the feeling that is consistent with your actions. This is one of the greatest breakthroughs in success psychology. You develop the courage you desire by disciplining yourself repeatedly to do the thing you fear until that fear eventually disappears. And your ability to confront, deal with, and act in spite of your fears is the key to happiness and success. One of the best exercises you can practice is to identify a person or situation in your life of which you are afraid and resolve to deal with that fear situation immediately. Do not allow it to make you unhappy for another minute. Resolve to confront the situation or person and put the fear behind you. When you identify a fear and discipline yourself to move toward it, it grows smaller and more manageable. What's more, as your fears grow smaller, your confidence grows. Soon, your fears lose their control over you. In contrast, when you back away from a fear-inducing situation or person, your fear grows larger and larger. Soon, it dominates your thinking and feeling, preoccupies you during the day, and often keeps you awake at night. The only way to deal with a fear is to address it head-on. Remind yourself that denial is not a river in Egypt. The natural tendency of many people is to deny that they have a problem caused by fear of some kind. They're afraid of confronting it. In turn, it becomes a major source of stress, unhappiness, and psychosomatic illness. Be willing to deal with the situation or person directly. As Shakespeare said, take arms against a sea of troubles, and in so doing, end them. The companion of fear is worry. Like twin sisters, fear and worry go around together. Mark Twain once wrote, I have worried about a lot of things in life, and most of them never happened. It has been estimated that 99% of the things that you worry about never happen. And most of the things that do happen so quickly that you didn't have time to worry about them in the first place.